be
Welcome
here.
back to D.C.
Thank you.
You're here for a very important reason.
A couple of reasons, yeah. But it's called, the film festival is here. And I've got 4 films that's going to be in the film market. I was taken to Jamaica and Curacao and Toronto to do 4 films, so they'll be entered. But there's one that was on the other night, the Maya Angelou one, that I have personal relationships with Maya and all those particular people. And then we're talking about an almost finished documentary called Spill the Honey, which is the magical connection between the African American and the Jew back after the Depression were put together. We created a renaissance of art and culture, and that's why Jackie Robinson came out of Brooklyn, and Barbara Streisand, and Arthur Miller.
Louis Gossett Jr.
And we all came, so they took us, we were together. I didn't know anything about being different because that society really buoyed me. I didn't know about anything racist until I went to Los Angeles, but by that time they were in charge of the industry. So we're going to try and encourage other cultures to spill the honey with us.
And boy, what a great time to encourage it, to
So,
encourage that.
And the other thing is my foundation, which is called E-Racism. These kids are about to have a violent confrontation with the authorities, but the lessons never stopped. They stopped during maybe around integration time. But perhaps if they consider on whose shoulders they stand and what culture they came from, 9 times out of 10, once they know that, they're realizing they're asking for equality in a society that desperately needs their positive input.
And as you've seen, we've been through worse in these United States of America.
So we have something better to offer than what we think. There's no time for anger or resentment. That is the self-destructive.
Right.
Go back and clean up the neighborhood, making sure that it's the most pleasant place for people to come and visit and partake in your culture.
We talked earlier about the March on Washington Film Festival in its, I believe, 4th year. And do you personally have any documentaries or film projects that you've personally been able to work on? Because I know you wear many hats.
Well, I'm about to direct one. I'm directing a thing called Meet Jane Doe, #Jane Doe. It's from the original film that Barbara Stanwyck and Gary Cooper did called Meet John Doe, which was done by Frank Capra. As a result of, after the Depression, people were killing themselves. And this film was about the inspirational America that there really is hope. He did, It Was a Wonderful Night with James Stewart, Mr. Diggs Goes to Washington, and Meet John Doe. So now we have an audience that's really waiting to hear this message again.
That's excellent.
So I'll start in May, so March, May, to produce that and direct that.
You know, a lot is made here about the fact that I do love the movie that you won the Academy Award for. But on the ride over, we were talking about a movie that you like, and you were actually doing the voice too, Enemy Mine. where you play an alien, and then your enemies. There's a human, and you're the alien.
An alien planet.
And then at the end, you come together.
Because of the troubles, we have to survive with one another.
It's very telling.
We were forced to rely on one another. Today, we're forced to rely on one another again.
Art imitating life.
Yes, ma'am.
If you will. So okay.
Maybe that's the original job and story in the first place.
Right.
But,
and that's before Star Wars, that's before Avatar, that's before all that.
Remember there was a film called Hell in the Pacific with Lee Marvin and Toshio Mifune. It was basically the same.
Okay.
But this can't be emphasized enough, that we're in a time where the planet is really needing our attention. We're put on this planet to take care of it.
Right.
And we're doing other things, including murder and killing one another, where we should be concentrating on clearing up the oceans and the air and make sure the food chain is unchemicaled and the fish are fresh.
Right.
And we pass that on to our next generation. If we're doing anything else, then we all may as well be in a 747 airplane, right? And we're in a plane, the plane's about to crash.
Right.
But people are fighting over who's going to be in first class.
Right. Let's steer the plane together.
Sense.
Let's do it together. Now, going back to that movie, I made a reference earlier when you were in that fight scene with Richard Gere.
With Richard, yeah.
So do you really do martial arts?
I studied it back in the day between Korea and Vietnam.
Okay.
And requalified for my second degree when but now I just walk from here to
I was going to say, what can't you do? And don't even try it. No, don't buy it. Don't even try it. You, I'm sure, always have, first of all, the thoughts that you shared today, just so relevant as to what we're seeing, but still acting too. What's your next what's your next
Well,
gig?
it's this, in the next film festival, major ones, in Sundance, etc. There's one I did with Eric Dickerson, who was Spike Lee's DP in Curacao, called Double Play.
Okay.
And I worked with Nick Cannon in Jamaica and the King of the Dance Halls. And a thing back at home in Brooklyn called Breaking Brooklyn. And From Here to Absurdity. And The Reason, that's 5. The Reason was the thing I did in Georgia, which is faith-based.
Well, I enjoy everything you do from roots to what you're doing right now. And just keep doing what you're doing.
So far,
many
so
years.
good.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay. I want to run some lines from Officer and a Gentleman, but I don't think we have the time.
I'm going to do only two things come from Washington.
And we won't say what they are. Oh, okay.
And crab cakes.
There you go. Diversity and crab cakes. A little softer than Officer and a Gentleman. Thank you so much, Louis Gossett Jr. Tonight, he's in town on a panel for one of the documentaries for the Washington.
At the archives.
Yes, they're in different locations.
Yeah.
The March on Washington, Mr. Gossett is at the archives. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right.
I looked up Mr. Gossett's IMDb, and it had like 5 things in production right now. So you are still a very, very busy man.
Busy.
Thanks for coming in.
I'm not going to, as they say in Brooklyn, this is what you do in the first place.
Now, do all those
very
people
grateful.
whose projects you're in know that you took your life in your hands by getting in the car with Tucker behind the wheel?
They told me after I got out.
He said, am I being kidnapped?
Yeah.
Am I being kidnapped?
Right.
I said no. Yeah.
Thank you so much. What a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
What a pleasure.
Thank you.